So hello, welcome back you guys. So today's a really quick video. I want to talk about the 3 stages of development, your spiritual development, once you have been touched by God. And so if you're listening to this video and you're on my page or on my business page, absolutely, of course, you have been touched by spirit. You're on your spiritual path. Now, the way to figure out exactly where you are on your spiritual path, there's 3 posts that we stop where we get to kind of measure where we're at. So the first stage, of course, is when we start to realize that there is a power, there is a presence much larger than we are, not only in our heads, because we all grew up knowing that there was something out there, but we start to embody it. We start to really feel it. And so this is the stage where you hear a lot out there now, the law of attraction and, your positive thinking and all of that, and how we are co-creating, how we are manifesting those things that we want. And this stage here is a really nice stage because it feels good. It feels like you have a little bit of control. This is the stage where you feel that life is getting a little better. You're able to feel a difference in your relationships with your family. You're able to manifest some of those things that you want. And so this is a really nice stage to be at. And sometimes people will stay stuck in this stage for quite a while because we're so stuck in this material world that it's really nice to have those things that we want, those material things that we want. And so this journey is very long. It's a very, very long journey. I've been on it for 22 years, and I don't believe that you need to be on it for 22 years if you're just hopping on the spiritual path, because I think the universe now is moving a lot quicker. But it is a very long journey. And so once you pass the stage, and that's all going to depend how hungry you are to move ahead. But once you pass the stage, it gets very difficult. This is a stage where you can stay on it for a very long time. I know I sure have, because I get pulled back into the human realm. It's where you have one foot in heaven and one foot here in the physical realm, where you start at this point here to start trusting more in God. You start to not have to run to medicines every time you're a little sick. It's a time where you start to have 2 kind of personalities, where you're speaking one language here in the world, but inwardly you're starting to really feel different. You're starting to really trust in the spirit. And this is very, very difficult. I went years with this, especially dealing with family members. Sometimes people just don't understand where you are in consciousness, and so you start having a lot of problems with your friends. You start not wanting to be around your friends. Your family members start to question what you're doing. I know for myself, I had so much problems with, especially my son, even though they were brought up in this belief. Thank God they were, because it probably would have been a lot worse. But I did have a lot of problems with my son, where he just battled me every step of the way. He still has a really hard time when I tell him that I'm fasting. He's just in that real belief that fasting will kill you, and so it's just really scary for him. So the fasting and because I don't worry about my retirement. I don't worry about I depend on God, and so for him, he's all about money. So there was all that battle with him, and thank God we have reached a space right now where we both have grown so much. So this is the stage that is really difficult for everybody. You have one step in heaven and one in here in the earth, and it pulls you both ways. And so for a long time you can really be in this place because you're breaking through those worldly temptations of fear, doubts, limitations, fear of death, fear of sickness. So when you're starting to move out of this, because this is a long journey. When you no longer are so fearful. You're not fearful of wars. You're not fearful of death. You're not fearful of, you just found out that you have a tumor. You're not, panicking. You're just more aware that, okay, you can be a little more relaxed with all this turbulence that we go through in life. So this is the middle stage, and it doesn't feel good. And then we get into that gray stage where we're really a child of God, where we're governed by spirit, where we're really able to surrender and allow ourselves to go with the flow and not judge good or bad, or just being in that place of fulfillment, because we're now knowing that we are, totally supported every step of the way, no matter what the appearance looks like. And this once we get to this stage, we are truly feeling peaceful. And not that we ever get to this place here and we stay here all the time. I don't think there's been anybody, even our Master Jesus, stayed in this space the whole time. There was the 40 days he had to go away. He needed to connect. When he was on the cross, he thought that everybody had abandoned him, and so he went through that human experience of why. So we don't stay here for forever, but we do create the space to be able to be here more often than not. And so this place here is very peaceful, and I feel like I've arrived here. I'm not where I want to be, because we never are, but I'm more here now than I am going back into that panicky state, that human state. So wherever you are on your journey, just be aware that it is a process. It is a long path, and I wish I had heard this when I was first starting on the path, because what kept me really stuck was the judgment, was judging myself, like, oh my God, why am I still here? And so that will block you from moving forward. So if you're in the beginning stages of this spiritual path, it is very helpful to have someone by your side. It's very helpful to have a healer, a coach, someone there to help you. I can't tell you enough of how I wished I knew this in the beginning, because I would look up to the ones, because I studied with some very today popular people out there. I studied with, Ivana Van Zandt. I did retreats with her. Michael Beckwith, Bob Proctor. I've worked with a lot of Mary Marcy, famous people. But I've always felt that they were so enlightened, but I didn't realize that they actually had gone through the same path that I had. So just know that we all go through it. We all have to go through the process. It all depends on you, on how dedicated, how hungry you are to grow and to move forward. And once you start moving, spirit is right there with you every step of the way. You're never, ever, ever alone. So thank you so much. This was a lot longer than I expected. Thank you so much for giving me this time here, and hopefully you're having a blessed, wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Peace and blessings.